All right, I'm going to bring up Gabe, him in Texas. He says he has very well-educated parents that have fallen victim to conspiracy theories and wants to explore how to converse with them. Hi, Gabe. How you doing?
Good, Kelley. Hi, Chris.
Hello,
Hey, thank you for taking a picture with me at the back, Chris. I finally got to talk to you live. And Chris, your channel sounds awesome. I will be checking it out. I didn't know you even existed. Sorry.
I get that a lot. Thank you.
Listen, both of my parents are medical doctors. They're highly educated. And I've called the show before to see how we can basically talk to each other about religion. It's blown up in my face. It hasn't worked out. And now they're falling into conspiracy theories as medical doctors, falling into like the anti-vax route.
Really?
Like all this anti-vax literature. Yes. And, in the past, I let it go because, I just wanted to at least get along with them. But now it's getting to the point that it's intervening with our lives, because these decisions actually, they matter. They matter what, beliefs and form actions actually have consequences. So if they're painting what their decisions with what they believe, then we have problems. And I live with them. I take care of them too.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to explore how we can have a conversation and how I can force that conversation to happen. They're old.
That's interesting.
So,
yeah. Age is an inhibitor, I think, sometimes because I don't know. I'm old. And I'm like, I know what I know, and I don't want to go look it up. So I could see it being hard to convince them. But both of them being medical doctors, I would think exposing them to actual research might actually help. I used to believe in all these conspiracy theories, not really conspiracy theories like, ancient aliens and all that stuff. And I watched all these videos about ancient aliens and I thought I knew everything. And then one day I watched one 3-hour-long video on YouTube about ancient aliens. And it like the one where the guy's on the side of the crypt, and he's like in a starship. And they explain that it's not actually a crypt. It's a crypt. It's a ship. It's the tree of life and how it's all real old stuff, not science, so it kind of opened up my mind to that sort of thing. And that may be the way to go with them, is to find, what conspiracy theories specifically are they into? You said anti-vax stuff. Well, they're doctors. If you could find a good counter to that on YouTube, because YouTube is the way, man. Don't give them a bunch of papers to read, scientific papers. They ain't going to do it. We're not going to do it. Give them a good YouTube video to kind of help them understand and expose them to the truth. And that may help. Outside of like electroshock therapy, I don't know what else you might try.
Okay. Well, my mom, when I called the show before, I spoke with Secular Rarity and what's his name? I don't know why I forgot his name. But they recommended the book from Carl Sagan, The Demon Haunted World, Science is a Candle.
Oh yeah.
My mom read it. Because it's Carl Sagan. They like Carl Sagan. They read it. But when I had a conversation about how that book, also talks about her beliefs, all of a sudden, no, I hate Carl Sagan. She threw the book in my face, like I never want to see it again. Once that book, she realized that book is for her beliefs as well. She didn't want to explore it no more, and we got into it because of that.
Right. It's so hard for somebody as they get older to all of a sudden realize that for 40 years I have believed something that isn't true. And it's just like once you find and then something so earth-shattering as your religious belief too. So you'll often get a lot of cognitive dissonance. We saw that earlier this evening on our first call, where somebody just couldn't reconcile the fact that what they believed in was really a bad thing, right? And so I'm just going to ignore that whole side of it and continue only to believe the good thing. It's like when you hear people say, well, God is love. God is just a message of love. Well, there seems to me a lot more to it than that. And a lot of it isn't very loving at all. you know, but they've gone ahead and they've ignored all the rest of it because of that cognitive dissonance. And there's no way that you can show it to them because it literally does not exist for them. They've totally blocked it out of their mind. It's a weird thing. I've seen it happen in my own family with a different topic, you know, where one of my, not one, but a couple of my siblings have just blocked out chunks of our childhood as if they didn't happen because they had negative experiences. It's not stuff they wanted to believe or think about. You know what I mean? So it can be really hard with people who are just so ingrained in their beliefs, and it may be, and I hate to say this, it may be that you are never ever going to get through to them, especially because you're their child, because their child could never ever possibly be smarter than they are.
And sometimes you can show people the light, you just can't lead them to it, you know. And that's one of the things I talk about on my show. I enjoy engaging with light Christians because they're interested, they want to know, they're curious. But then there's other people who they don't want to know, they're not curious, they just want to engage, follow their own path. And if they're ever going to come to the light, they're just going to have to do it on their own. You've done your part, you've shown them what you can. I mean, and live your life. You know, at some point you have to live. Of course, you're in a situation where you live with them and those guys, so you're able to influence them. And I would say do the best you can, but you know, focus on you. You do you, brother. I think you probably be better off that way. And how much can you convince them, especially considering they're your parents, you know? But I appreciate you for trying.
Yeah, totally.
I was thinking of maybe going with a psychiatrist. And maybe we can talk it out. You know,
I'm always down for that. Yeah, I kind of, if you can get them to go, that's great. Yeah. I'm down for that. Why didn't we think of that? Why didn't we think of that?
Oh, a family therapist, right? Family therapist, maybe.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Don't jump right to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but you know, maybe take some baby steps and go see a family therapist. Yeah. That might be an option if you could talk them into it. Especially if you pay for it.
well, because they're medical doctors, usually the psychiatrist doesn't want to charge, you know. But the cat is taking into a particular one. But the problem I see with just going with the psychiatrist is, since I also debate myself, I've actually debated pediatricians that are like younger creationists, anti-vaxxers themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't get it.
So
I don't either.
I would have to interview the psychiatrist beforehand.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's a good point. I know a medical professional who is way up there in the educated department, and she likes to explore things like cupping and what are those things where they put the needles in your body random, like all over your body? You know, Chinese medicine, acupuncture. I'm all into that stuff. I mean,
or dry needling to make it acceptable.
There you go. However you do, you know, and I'm like, all right, let's explore them. If it works for you in your mind, let's do it. You know, if it helps you figure out whatever. But I find it odd that people who are trained in biochemistry and all that sort of thing will sit there and go, oh yes, I can see how sticking a needle in my shoulder up here will make my foot feel better. Just kind of, anyway, I don't know if about that, but in their case where they're going on to anti-vax stuff, that's a little scary, especially at their age, right?
Yeah.
They've already had their medical boosters and all that business.
Yes, my mom right now is talking about my dad not getting like the COVID vaccine again. And she's been reading like this guy, Peter Geuge, I forgot. He's like a Danish doctor. He's part like some the CDC, and he became like very anti-vax.
Let me ask you about your parents. Are they theists? Are they Christians?
Yes, they're Catholics.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, right. I remember. Yeah, he said he was raised Catholic.
Okay. Thank you for that. I want to let you, if you don't mind, you might remind them of this, because sometimes what they like to think about whenever they're Christians, they like to think that Jesus will protect them. Okay, Jesus is going to protect me. They're going to pray, and Jesus is going to protect them from the disease. You've seen that we saw a lot of that during the cooties. It might be worth it to you to gently remind them that Jesus will let you die. Look throughout history. Jesus has let Christians die for any number of things, through plagues, through this, through that. He wants to see them. I mean, you know, they need to get vaccinated. They need to do the thing, whatever you got to do to make them, as I say, make them, to help convince them to do the safest way, you know. Yeah, but this notion that they should not do it, that they should be exposed and live dangerously, Jesus will let you die. He'll go on about it. He has no problem letting people die.
Yeah, unfortunately, even if they're little children, as we pointed out earlier.
Yes, that is true.
So somebody wrote in the text chat that Chris is nailing this, and I was like, yeah, he totally is. I didn't write that out, but yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you. He's totally nailing this.
Thank you. I saw this on TV once.
Cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you all, guys. You're great.
Gabe, this was a great call. I am running a little short on time, and I still have a few more calls to take. So, do you have any final words you want to throw at us? Pardon?
No, that's it. I'll bother you on Messenger. I'll bother you.
All right, cool. Thanks. Yeah, it's okay. I appreciate it, Gabe. You have a great night.